You are the creator of your own path. Life is often seen as a journey where we are simply travelers, moving through experiences and events that have already been laid out for us. However, the truth is far more empowering. Life is not something that we merely stumble upon or discover. It is something we actively create through our thoughts, decisions, actions, and mindset. This understanding shifts us from being passive participants in life to becoming deliberate creators of our reality. From the moment we wake up each day, we are faced with countless choices. Some are small and may seem insignificant, like what to eat for breakfast or how to respond to a message. Others are bigger, like which career to pursue, who to spend our time with, or how to handle challenges. These choices, whether small or large, shape the direction of our lives over time. Even the seemingly minor decisions accumulate, creating habits and patterns that define the person we become and the life we live. Many people go through life believing that their circumstances are fixed, as if everything has already been decided by fate or external forces. While it's true that we cannot control everything that happens to us, such as where we were born or certain life events, we do have control over how we respond to those circumstances. This response is where our power lies. By choosing our attitudes, beliefs, and actions, we can transform even difficult situations into opportunities for growth and change. Consider a person who faces a setback, like losing a job. One individual might view this as a permanent failure and sink into despair, while another might see it as a chance to pursue a new career path or start their own business. The same external event occurred, but the response and interpretation were completely different. This demonstrates that our perspective and choices play a vital role in shaping our reality. It is not the situation itself, but how we respond to it that determines the direction of our lives. Creating your own path also requires self-awareness. Before you can design the life you want, you must first understand who you are, what you value, and what truly matters to you. Without this clarity, you may end up following someone else's dream or society's expectations rather than your own. Self-reflection helps you identify your passions, strengths, and purpose. Once you have this understanding, you can begin to take intentional steps toward building a life that aligns with your authentic self. Another key element of creating your own life is taking responsibility. It can be tempting to blame others or external circumstances for our unhappiness or lack of progress. While challenges and unfair situations do exist, continually blaming the outside world only keeps us stuck. True empowerment comes when we accept responsibility for our choices and recognize that we have the ability to change our path through conscious action. This does not mean we must control everything, but rather that we focus on what we can influence: our thoughts, behaviors, and efforts. Living as the creator of your life also involves courage. Creating something new often means stepping into the unknown, taking risks, and facing fear. It requires us to leave our comfort zones and challenge limiting beliefs. Growth rarely happens without discomfort, and building a meaningful life is no exception. When you embrace this discomfort as a natural part of creation, you gain the strength to move forward even when the path is uncertain. Ultimately, realizing that you are the creator of your life is deeply liberating. It means that your future is not fixed or predetermined. Every day brings a new opportunity to make choices that move you closer to the person you want to become and the life you want to live. By taking ownership of your journey, you stop waiting for life to happen and start shaping your destiny one step at a time. Power of intentional choices. Life is built on a series of decisions, both big and small. Each choice we make sets off a chain of events that ultimately shapes our experiences, relationships, and overall destiny. The quote, "Life is a creation, not a discovery," reminds us that our lives are not pre-written stories we simply uncover. Instead, they are works of art, designed and crafted through the power of intentional choices. By understanding and harnessing this power, we can create a life that aligns with our deepest values and aspirations. An intentional choice is a decision made with clarity, awareness, and purpose. It is different from a reaction driven by impulse, fear, or habit. When we make intentional choices, we pause to reflect, consider the potential outcomes, and ensure our actions match our long-term goals and beliefs. This kind of decision-making empowers us to take control of our lives rather than letting circumstances or other people dictate our path. For many people, life feels as though it is happening to them rather than for them. They go through each day on autopilot, following routines, conforming to societal expectations, and reacting to whatever challenges arise. While this approach may seem safe and familiar, it often leads to feelings of emptiness, frustration, and lack of fulfillment. Intentional choices break this cycle by encouraging us to take ownership of our actions. Instead of drifting aimlessly, we begin to navigate our journey with purpose and direction. Consider the difference between two individuals, one who allows external pressures to dictate their career path and another who carefully considers their passions, strengths, and desired lifestyle. Before making a decision, the first person may achieve financial stability but feel trapped in a job they dislike. The second person, even if they face challenges along the way, is more likely to find deep satisfaction and meaning because their decision was rooted in authenticity. This example shows how intentional choices create a life that reflects who we truly are. The power of intentional choices also lies in their cumulative effect. At first, a single decision may seem insignificant, like choosing to meditate for 5 minutes a day, save a small amount of money, or speak kindly instead of harshly. However, when these small decisions are repeated consistently, they build powerful habits that transform our lives. Just as drops of water can eventually fill a bucket, small intentional actions lead to significant and lasting change over time. Moreover, making intentional choices helps us stay aligned with our values. In today's fast-paced world, it is easy to get swept away by distractions, societal pressures, or the opinions of others. Without clear intentions, we may end up living someone else's dream rather than our own. Taking time to reflect on our core values, such as honesty, kindness, freedom, or growth, allows us to make decisions that resonate deeply with our inner selves. When our actions align with our values, we experience a profound sense of peace and purpose. However, intentional choice-making requires mindfulness and self-discipline. It is easy to react impulsively when faced with stress, fear, or temptation. In these moments, slowing down and asking ourselves key questions, like, will this decision bring me closer to my goals? Or does this choice align with my values? Can help us respond wisely rather than regretfully. Over time, this practice strengthens our decision-making skills and builds confidence in our ability to shape our lives. It is also important to remember that making intentional choices does not mean we will never face challenges or mistakes. Failure is a natural part of growth. What matters is how we respond to setbacks. When a decision doesn't work out as planned, we can use it as an opportunity to learn and make better choices moving forward. This resilience is a vital part of creating a meaningful life. In essence, the power of intentional choices lies in their ability to transform our lives from the inside out. Instead of drifting passively through life, we become active participants in shaping our future. Every intentional choice we make acts like a brushstroke on the canvas of our life, gradually creating a picture that reflects our hopes, dreams, and deepest truths. By embracing this power, we take responsibility for our journey and unlock the freedom to design a life that is uniquely and beautifully our own. Growth through action life is full of possibilities, but potential alone is not enough to create a meaningful and fulfilling existence. Dreams, goals, and aspirations remain just ideas unless they are accompanied by action. The quote, "Life is a creation, not a discovery," teaches us that we cannot simply wait for life to reveal itself to us. Instead, we must actively build and shape it through our efforts. Growth is not something we stumble upon by accident. It is the direct result of the steps we take each day, no matter how small they may seem. Many people spend years waiting for the perfect moment to start something important, whether it's pursuing a passion, learning a new skill, or making a life-changing decision. They tell themselves that once circumstances improve, once they have more time, or once they feel fully ready, then they will take action. Unfortunately, this mindset often leads to stagnation and regret. The truth is, there is no perfect time. Growth begins the moment you decide to take action, even if the conditions aren't ideal. Waiting only delays progress, while consistent effort, no matter how imperfect, moves you forward. Taking action is powerful because it builds momentum. Just like a snowball rolling down a hill grows larger as it moves, small, consistent steps lead to bigger opportunities and breakthroughs over time. For example, someone who dreams of becoming a writer may start by writing just a few paragraphs each day. At first, it may seem insignificant, but after weeks and months of steady effort, they will have developed skills, confidence, and perhaps even a complete book. Growth does not happen in sudden leaps. It is the result of steady, intentional actions that accumulate over time. One of the key aspects of growth through action is learning by doing. No amount of planning or preparation can fully replace the lessons learned through direct experience. Mistakes and challenges are not signs of failure, but essential parts of the growth process. Every time we take action, we gain new insights and skills that we could never acquire through theory alone. For instance, you can read hundreds of books about swimming, but you will never truly learn to swim until you get into the water. Likewise, in life, you grow by immersing yourself in experiences rather than simply thinking about them. Action also helps us overcome fear and self-doubt. Often, the biggest obstacle to growth is not a lack of resources or opportunity, but our own limiting beliefs. We may fear failure, judgment, or uncertainty, and this fear can paralyze us into inaction. However, when we take even a small step forward, we begin to weaken fear's grip on us. Each action builds confidence, proving to ourselves that we are capable of more than we initially believed. This creates a positive cycle. Action leads to courage, courage leads to more action, and this continuous process fuels growth. Moreover, growth through action brings clarity. Many people hesitate to act because they are unsure about what they truly want or which path to take. But clarity rarely comes from standing still. It emerges through exploration and movement. By trying new things, making decisions, and reflecting on the outcomes, we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and our desires. For example, someone unsure about their career direction might try different roles or projects. Through action, they discover what resonates with them and what does not, gradually shaping their ideal path. It's also important to note that growth through action requires persistence. There will be times when progress feels slow and obstacles seem overwhelming. In these moments, it is tempting to give up and retreat into comfort. However, true growth comes to those who keep moving forward despite setbacks. Even small actions taken during difficult times are incredibly powerful because they build resilience and strength. Every challenge faced and overcome becomes a stepping stone to greater success. Ultimately, action is the bridge between dreams and reality. Without it, even the most beautiful visions remain intangible. When we take action, we breathe life into our ideas, turning them into something real and meaningful. Each choice, each step, and each effort contributes to the ongoing process of creating our lives. By embracing growth through action, we stop being passive observers and become active creators. We recognize that while we cannot control everything, we can control the effort we put forth. With consistent, purposeful action, we not only shape our external circumstances, but also evolve internally, becoming wiser, stronger, and more fulfilled along the way. Growth, therefore, is not something we wait to find. It is something we build with our own hands, one action at a time. Overcoming challenges as part of creation, life is a journey filled with ups and downs, victories and setbacks, joy and pain. When we embrace the idea that life is a creation, not a discovery, we begin to see challenges not as obstacles meant to stop us, but as essential elements of the life we are building. Challenges are not there to break us. They are there to shape us, to teach us valuable lessons, and to help us grow into the people we are meant to become. Without challenges, there would be no growth, no progress, and no transformation. When we face difficulties, our first instinct is often to avoid them or wish they would disappear. It's natural to desire an easy path free from struggles. However, life's challenges are like the fire that strengthens steel. They test our resilience, patience, and determination. Just as a seed must push through the soil to grow into a strong tree, we must push through hardships to reach our full potential. In this way, challenges become part of the creative process of life itself. Every challenge presents an opportunity for self-discovery and self-mastery. When things go smoothly, we rarely stop to reflect or question our habits and beliefs. But when life throws obstacles our way, we are forced to pause and reassess. For instance, losing a job may initially feel like a devastating setback. However, it might also open the door to exploring a new career path or pursuing a passion that had been set aside. In this way, Challenges act as catalysts for change, pushing us to think creatively and take bold steps we might otherwise never consider. Overcoming challenges also helps us build inner strength. Each time we face adversity and come out stronger, we gain confidence in our ability to handle whatever comes next. Imagine climbing a steep mountain. The first climb may seem impossible, but with each peak you conquer, you become more skilled, determined, and courageous. Similarly, life's hardships prepare us for greater challenges ahead. They teach us perseverance and resilience, qualities that are essential for creating a meaningful and purposeful life. It's important to understand that challenges are not signs of failure or punishment. Many people believe that if they encounter difficulties, it means they are on the wrong path. In truth, challenges often indicate that we are growing and evolving. Just as muscles grow stronger through resistance, our character develops through overcoming obstacles. The pain we feel during challenging times is temporary, but the strength we gain from enduring it is lasting. One key to overcoming challenges is to shift our mindset. Instead of viewing difficulties as enemies, we can see them as teachers. Each problem carries a lesson if we are willing to look closely. For example, a conflict in a relationship might teach us patience, empathy, or better communication. Financial struggles might teach us the value of planning and resourcefulness. By approaching challenges with curiosity and openness, we transform them from sources of suffering into opportunities for growth. Another essential factor in overcoming challenges is taking action, even when the path ahead seems unclear. Fear and uncertainty often hold us back, making problems seem bigger than they are. However, when we take even small steps toward a solution, we begin to regain a sense of control and hope. This momentum builds over time, gradually leading us out of difficulty and into progress. Support from others is also vital. While life is a personal journey, we do not have to face challenges alone. Friends, family, mentors, or spiritual communities can provide guidance and encouragement. Sharing our struggles allows us to gain new perspectives and feel less isolated, reminding us that challenges are a universal part of the human experience. Ultimately, overcoming challenges is about embracing the process of creation. Just as an artist must struggle through mistakes and revisions to create a masterpiece, we must work through life's difficulties to build the life we envision. Every hardship we face becomes part of our unique story, adding depth, meaning, and beauty to the life we are crafting. By viewing challenges as necessary steps in the creative process, we stop seeing them as barriers and start recognizing them as opportunities. They are the raw materials from which we shape our future. When we face them with courage, patience, and determination, we transform both ourselves and the world around us. In this way, challenges are not something to fear. They are essential to the very act of creating a life worth living. Responsibility for your happiness. Happiness is one of the deepest desires of every human being. We all seek joy, peace, and fulfillment, yet many people spend their lives searching for happiness in external things, wealth, possessions, relationships, or achievements. While these can bring temporary pleasure, true and lasting happiness comes from within. The quote, "Life is a creation, not a discovery," reminds us that happiness is not something we find by chance or stumble upon like a hidden treasure. Instead, it is something we create through our choices, mindset, and actions. This means taking full responsibility for our happiness and understanding that we are the architects of our emotional well-being. Often, people believe that their happiness depends on other people or external circumstances. They might say, "I'll be happy when I get a better job," or "I'll be happy once I find the right partner." This way of thinking places happiness outside of ourselves, making it something we must chase rather than something we can build. The problem with this mindset is that external factors are beyond our complete control. Jobs can be lost, relationships can change, and material possessions can disappear. When we tie our happiness to these impermanent things, our sense of well-being becomes fragile and easily disrupted. Taking responsibility for your happiness begins with realizing that you have the power to shape your inner world, even when you cannot control the outer world. While you may not be able to prevent certain challenges or hardships, you can control how you respond to them. This is where true freedom lies. For example, two people may face the same difficult situation, such as losing a job. One person may fall into despair, while the other sees it as an opportunity to explore new possibilities. The difference lies not in the situation itself, but in the perspective and attitude they choose to adopt. This concept aligns with one of Buddha's core teachings. Our thoughts shape our reality. When we cultivate a mindset of gratitude, compassion, and mindfulness, we lay the foundation for lasting happiness. Even in difficult times, we can find moments of peace by focusing on what we can control: our own actions, beliefs, and intentions. In this way, happiness becomes a skill, something we practice and nurture daily rather than something we passively wait to experience. Taking responsibility for your happiness also means letting go of blame. It is easy to point fingers at others or at circumstances when we feel unhappy. We might blame our family, society, or past experiences. While these factors may influence us, continually blaming them keeps us stuck in a cycle of resentment and powerlessness. When we stop blaming and start taking ownership of our emotions, we regain our personal power. This does not mean ignoring past pain or pretending everything is perfect. It simply means acknowledging that our current happiness depends on the choices we make today, not on events that happened long ago. Another key aspect of creating happiness is aligning your actions with your values and purpose. When you live in harmony with what truly matters to you, you experience a deep sense of fulfillment that external rewards cannot provide. For example, someone who values creativity might feel most alive when painting, writing, or building something meaningful. If they ignore this part of themselves and focus only on making money, they may feel empty no matter how much they earn. Happiness comes from living authentically and honoring your deepest truths. It is also essential to practice self-care and self-compassion. Creating happiness involves taking care of your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. This might include meditation, exercise, spending time in nature, or simply resting when you need to. Many people neglect themselves while trying to please others or meet societal expectations. However, you cannot pour from an empty cup. By nurturing yourself, you create the energy and balance needed to face life with a positive outlook. Taking responsibility for happiness does not mean you will always feel joyful or free from pain. Life naturally includes sadness, loss, and disappointment. However, by accepting this truth, you can learn to navigate difficult emotions without becoming overwhelmed by them. Instead of resisting or denying pain, you can acknowledge it, learn from it, and let it pass. This acceptance brings a deeper, more resilient form of happiness, one that is not shaken by every challenge. Ultimately, when you take full responsibility for your happiness, you shift from being a passive seeker to an active creator. You stop waiting for happiness to arrive and start building it, moment by moment, through your choices and actions. You recognize that happiness is not a final destination, but a journey, a way of living and being. By cultivating mindfulness, gratitude, and inner strength, you create a steady foundation of joy that no external circumstance can take away. In this way, happiness becomes a reflection of who you are, not what you have. It is your own beautiful creation, built with intention, courage, and love. Living with purpose and vision. Life without purpose is like sailing a ship without a compass. You may keep moving, but you will drift aimlessly without a clear direction. The quote, "Life is a creation, not a discovery," reminds us that we are not here to simply uncover a predetermined path. Instead, we are meant to design our lives with intention, shaping our journey with purpose and vision. Living with purpose gives meaning to our actions, while vision provides the clarity and motivation to keep moving forward, even when life becomes challenging. Many people move through life reacting to circumstances rather than creating their own direction. They follow routines, meet expectations set by others, and make decisions based on fear or societal pressure. While this may provide a sense of safety, it often leads to feelings of emptiness or dissatisfaction. Without a guiding purpose, life can feel repetitive and unfulfilling. Purpose is what transforms everyday actions into meaningful steps towards something greater. It is the reason you get up in the morning, the fire that fuels your determination, and the foundation of a life well lived. Living with purpose begins with self-reflection. To create a meaningful life, you must first understand yourself, your passions, values, strengths, and deepest desires. Ask yourself questions like, what truly matters to me? What kind of impact do I want to make on the world? What do I want my legacy to be? These questions help you uncover your inner truth and define what kind of life you wish to create. Without this clarity, it's easy to get lost in distractions, chasing goals that don't align with who you really are. Once you have a sense of purpose, the next step is to develop a vision for your future. A vision acts as a roadmap, showing you where you want to go and inspiring you to take consistent action. For example, a person whose purpose is to help others might envision a future where they run a non-profit organization, teach, or create meaningful art that touches people's lives. This vision gives their daily efforts a sense of direction and importance. Even small actions, when aligned with a greater vision, become powerful building blocks in the creation of a fulfilling life. Having a vision also provides motivation during difficult times. Life will inevitably bring obstacles, setbacks, and uncertainty. When challenges arise, it's easy to lose hope or give up. However, a strong vision serves as a reminder of why you started and what you are working toward. It keeps you focused and resilient, guiding you through storms and helping you make decisions that support your long-term goals. Just as a lighthouse guides ships safely to shore, your vision can keep you on course even when the seas of life grow rough. Another essential aspect of living with purpose and vision is intentional action. Purpose alone is not enough. It must be paired with effort and commitment. Many people have dreams, but only those who take consistent, focused action can bring those dreams to life. This doesn't mean you need to make dramatic changes overnight. Even small, daily steps in the direction of your purpose can lead to profound transformation over time. The key is to act deliberately and stay aligned with your vision. It is also important to adapt and grow along the way. Your vision may evolve as you gain new experiences and insights. What matters most is not rigidly sticking to a plan, but staying true to your core values and allowing your life to unfold naturally while staying guided by purpose. Think of your vision as a flexible framework rather than a fixed destination. This mindset allows you to embrace change and see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than threats. Living with purpose and vision also benefits the world around you. When you align your life with your authentic self, you naturally inspire and uplift others. Your actions create a ripple effect, touching the lives of those you encounter. This is how one person's vision can spark positive change on a larger scale. For example, someone pursuing a purpose-driven career in teaching not only fulfills their own dreams, but also shapes the minds and futures of countless students. Finally, living with purpose brings a profound sense of inner peace and fulfillment. When you know why you are doing what you are doing, even mundane tasks take on deeper meaning. Life feels richer and more rewarding because every action contributes to a larger story you are actively creating. You no longer feel like a passive observer, but rather an artist painting the masterpiece of your life. In essence, purpose and vision are the guiding lights that transform existence into creation. They empower you to live intentionally, to make choices that reflect your deepest truths, and to persevere through challenges with courage and clarity. When you live with purpose and vision, you are not just surviving. You are consciously crafting a life of meaning, growth, and lasting impact.